listening to Fountain of Thought with your hosts, Dennis Fountain and Sunny Rain. One small step for man, one giant leap for America.
This show contains adult themes and language. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, everyone, to the Fountain of Thought podcast, broadcasting from the Eric's Memorial Studios. This is the podcast where we talk about anything and everything. Leave us a voicemail on our listener line at 413-612-8037. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at TalkFOT. Or visit our website at fountainofthat.com. All right, this is a solo episode today. Sunny Rain is under the weather yet again. Still trying to recover from that, so we'll see how he's doing. So we're going to try to tackle this all by ourselves today and see how it goes. So I have some top 10 predictions in the next 10 years. And before I get to that, though, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the XFL. If you remember a couple of episodes ago, I talked about Vince McMahon spending all of this money, $100 million, in re-registering re-registering trademarks and everything for the XFL and the USFL. Well, it is now official. He has announced that the XFL will return. The leagues will be forming in 2019 for play in 2020. And he says there will be less rules, so not as much tying down to, protecting the quarterback and all that stuff. Less rules, he says, quicker games. And he will be hiring no felons. If you have a criminal past, you are not welcome in the XFL. So that's going to limit his player selection, I think, maybe. I don't know how that's going to work out. So let's tackle my top 10 predictions. All right. So here we go. Top 10 predictions for the next 10 years. These are not in any particular order. It's just what I thought about discussing. So number one, cord cutting will continue to pick up pace as millions begin to sever linear needs, and cable and satellite providers will switch from hardwire to air-driven feeds. So I predict this is going to happen by 2023. What I mean by this is you see now that everyone is cutting the cord. They're not getting a cable service. They're not getting DirecTV. They're not getting Comcast. They're getting rid of that wired, and they're going either internet-based for streaming or Wi-Fi signals for their streaming. Anything they can to cut their costs and lower it. And what I see happening is that this cord's going to be gone. In other words, you're not going to have that internet that's coming to your house. It's all going to come through the airwaves. So you're going to watch, and by 2023, you'll see you can now get internet. There'll be Wi-Fi everywhere. It'll just be out there in the air, and you'll be able to hook up to it and get your needs that way. You watch. That's what's coming by 2023. All right, here's my next prediction. A computer-generated image or a CGI video will be used as a hoax or to politically motivate, and we will no longer trust what we hear and see as a test of something's authenticity. This is going to happen soon, folks, and my prediction is by 2020. So again, what I mean by this is you look at all these video clips that they have of people, and if you've watched any of these movies lately, they just look, the last Star Wars movie, Princess Leia, they recreated her. Fast and the Furious. They just recreate people so well you can't tell the difference between reality and whether they're a computer-generated image. And it's gotten so sophisticated in Hollywood that they can now make movies without actors or actresses. So I predict that somebody's going to make a hoax, and I'm leaning towards the political part where I think they'll get Donald Trump or somebody, some videotape is going to surface, and they're going to say, oh, well, look at this. But it's all going to be a fallacy, folks. It will be completely made up. So that's my prediction for 2020. Next one is personal assistants such as Alexa, Siri, and Google will begin to dominate the marketplace, which they already are, but they're going to go farther. And this is going to be the first step, folks, towards sentient artificial intelligence. My prediction by the year 2028. So what I think is going to happen here is if you look at any of them, Google or Alexa or any of those, ask them a question or you say a statement, and they have a pre-recorded answer for that. But it's going to start being intuitive where they're going to start have an algorithm that's going to figure out exactly what you mean, and they're going to become more lifelike and more real. And that's going to be something that we're going to be really bizarrely looking at. But so my prediction, 2028, sometime, some kind of sentient artificial intelligence. So a computer that can think, basically. All right, next one is battery performance will show significant advancement in tripling the capacity of batteries, making cordless devices increase as well as electric cars. My prediction is by the year 2025. So what I see happening here is you already see it slowly. Computers are lasting longer, laptops are lasting longer, flashlights are lasting longer, cars are lasting longer, everything's lasting longer. These lithium batteries last for years. So what I think is going to happen, folks, is they're going to narrow this technology even greater, and the batteries are going to get smaller, the power they hold is going to get bigger, and that's going to allow many different things. So again, kind of like the airwaves, we're not going to be plugged in anymore. This electricity is going to be a different beast. I also think that electricity is going to be in the air, by the way, as well, and that we'll be able to charge strictly through the air. I know it sounds weird, but that's going to happen. That's going to take longer than my prediction for the next 10 years, but you wait. That'll happen eventually. But this is going to really enable electric cars to fly, especially now that the driverless cars are so popular. That's going to be the next thing. All right, next on my list is computers will begin to sense your buying habits in real time and suggest items for you to purchase. So by 2020, Amazon has have marts now, and there's no cashiers. So you walk into Amazon, you take whatever you want, you put it in your pocket, in your bag, in your pocketbook, whatever you like, in your basket, doesn't matter. And the cameras are sensing you all around, and they know what you've purchased, and they will charge you accordingly. So you just walk in, take what you want, put it in your pocket, and leave. And you don't have to stop at a cashier and check in or check out or anything. They just take it right out of your checking account or whatever account you have set up, credit card, whatever. So, and I've seen this on some movies, and I think it's going to come to fruition where you just walk in and you go to the milk aisle, and it's going to say, hey, Dennis, did you know that you're low on 1% milk? You should buy some. Or the last time you were here, you bought whole wheat bread. How about trying Raisin Bran bread? Whatever. That's my prediction. Custom shopping is coming. All right. New foods and flavors of common food items through genetics and chemical manipulation will be introduced, making it possible for, let's say, an apple to taste like a jelly donut. I predict this by 2025. So they're going to use genetics and chemical manipulation to inject flavor into different items. So, for example, you could eat an apple that is healthy for you, good for you, but it's going to taste, the taste will come through like a jelly donut. I mean, it may not be an apple per se, but, you know, they could make a piece of bread or something. Well, not bread, because that's kind of bad for you, but you get what I'm saying? They're going to manipulate flavors, and the old Star Trek food cubes, that's going to be a reality where they can just make this cube of food, and it doesn't look like banana cream pie, but you know what? It sure does taste like banana cream pie. That's going to be the next advancement. New evidence will be introduced that will take us one step closer to verifying intelligent alien life. That's going to happen by 2019. That's next year, guys. And I think you're going to see China playing a big part in this. Their exploration is really taking off over there, and I think China is going to be kind of instrumental in this happening, where we're gonna realize that there is intelligent life out there, and we're falling behind in the space race, so to speak. Really saddened to see the shuttle mission stop and not really get replaced by anything. And hey, now you're looking at private citizens launching their own spacecraft and going places. So the United States and NASA really needs to get their act together. We're being embarrassed in this category, and obviously it's where the future is. There's no doubt in my mind, and probably no doubt in most people's mind. But as it stands right now, China is going to be the innovator in this. They are also going to be the first habitat for man on the moon by 2028 is my next prediction. And China's going to be the one to do it, folks. Their space exploration is top-notch, and they are going to be the first country that develops a habitat for mankind on the moon. And mark my words. They're a crowded country over there. They need space, and moon's free. Next one is, and I've talked about this one before, movie theaters will be few and far between, like the drive-ins are right now, mainly due to the evolution of holograms and virtual reality. So I predict this by 2028. That's the limit of my 10 years. I actually think it might be a little bit longer, like maybe 2030, but since I'm doing 10 years, I'm gonna say we'll peg through to this. But you're going to see holograms take over. Look at the CGI we talked about earlier. They can create whole people now, folks, all right? So movie theaters, they're on the way out. Television's going to stick around for a while, but that's going to evolve as well because now you're going to have virtual reality and holograms coming through, and it's going to be a personal experience where you can be involved in this. And movie theaters aren't the place for that. So movie theaters need to stop and think about what's going on. And I've said this in the industry for a long time. They're a dying breed. All right, and my final top 10 prediction for the next 10 years is this episode will be instrumental in launching the Fountain of Thought podcast into history by making it the greatest podcast of all time, and the world will finally accept that Dennis Fountain is a god.
You want to answer that, don't you? I bet it's just killing you seeing the soft glow just inches away. Someone wants to tell you something or ask you something. Oh, come on, answer it already. Just so we're clear, that wasn't my fault. Next time, ignore your inner voice. Don't text and drive.
Wit and charm DJs Dennis and Sonny have. FountainofThought.com, website you go. Episodes new every Friday at 7.
All right, everyone, welcome back. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor or advertising on our show, please drop us an email at talkfot@gmail.com.
The moment you've been waiting for is finally here. Yes, true or false headlines.
All right, everyone. True or False Headlines is being sponsored by the Ludlow Lions Club. Do you want to help those in need in your neighborhood? Volunteer today by visiting ludlowlions.org or by calling 754-900-ROAR. All right, what's going to happen here is I'm going to read two headlines. One is true, one is false. You're going to play along at home and try to guess which is which. All right, first headline is, man mistook bank drive-up window for Taco Bell, or man gives robbery note to bank ATM. All right, let that sink in for a second. Once again, man mistook bank drive-up window for Taco Bell, or man gives robbery note to bank ATM. All right, if you said the first one, you are correct. Authorities say a Florida man was charged with driving under the influence after mistaking a bank drive-thru for a Taco Bell. 38-year-old Douglas John Francisco was arrested Wednesday evening outside the Bank of America branch in Spring Hill, Florida. The Hernando County Sheriff's Office says employees spotted Francisco passed out in the bank's drive-up lane. After the workers banged down his car for some time, deputies say Francisco finally woke up and tried to order a burrito. When the branch manager told him it wasn't a Taco Bell, he reportedly drove to the front parking lot. Deputies say they found Francisco in the driver's seat. He was arrested after failing a field sobriety test. Francisco was freed Thursday on $500 bail. And no, he did not get a taco. All right, here's the next one. Police arrest man for stealing multiple manhole covers, or police arrest woman for stealing Viagra. Do 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 do. So I can't play that because that's copyrighted material. But the correct one is the first one. Police arrest man for stealing multiple manhole covers. Massachusetts police say they have arrested a man who stole 7 manhole covers and put traffic cones in their place. 46-year-old Webster man was arrested Friday and charged with larceny. Police say they first received a call around 2:45 p.m. last Wednesday from a witness who saw the suspect taking a manhole cover in Webster, Mass. Authorities received several other calls about missing manhole covers, and they say they stopped the vehicle matching the witness's description later that day. Police say the suspect acknowledged taking the manhole covers and pointed officers to where he had sold them. Authorities recovered the covers Wednesday from a Millbury salvage yard. Webster Sewer Superintendent William Burke says they replaced the stolen covers with spares. Well, I got to give you hats off. Lots of effort for this guy. Those manholes, those suckers are heavy. He managed to steal a bunch of those, and I didn't know that was a thing that you could sell them. Did not know that.
It's time to dig deep. That only means one thing. It's time for questions from my side.
All right, this is being sponsored by Mr. Bill's Boot and Shoe Repair in Pantego, Texas. Tell Mr. Bill you heard this ad and receive a 20% discount on any shoe repair. Find them online at mrbills.net, where they'll save your soul and gladly die for you. All right, how this works is you, the audience, send us your question. It can be anything and everything, just like our podcast. And each week we will randomly select 3 questions to read live on the air, or as the box says,
kicking it live and direct here at the Fountain.
All right, first one is, what would you want to be your dying words? I don't know. What would I want my dying words to be? Honestly, I would probably say, it's okay. Everything's going to be fine. Don't worry about me. Go have a party. Something like that. All right, next one is, what is the last thing you do before you go to bed? Close my eyes? Is this a trick question? Shut the television off? Usually I'm watching television. I usually pick a TV series to watch at night before I go to bed. Kind of helps me sleep. And so the last thing I do would be typically to shut the TV off, or I do wear earplugs, so put the earplugs in, either one of those. I don't usually put the timer on the television because that doesn't work for me. I kind of have quiet, so I'm going to go with shut the TV off. That's usually the very last thing I do. All right. And the last question for today is, would you rather push a Chevy or pull a Ford? Okay, this is a time-honored tradition of Chevy and Ford fighting each other, and they both make good cars, in my opinion. It just depends upon what you like. So the Chevy Camaro, everyone knows I have a Chevy Camaro, and the Ford Mustang is his counterpart. But I particularly like the Chevy Camaro. I'm more partial to Chevy, but Ford makes some good things, and the Ford Mustang's a good car. So is the Chevy Camaro, but I happen to like the looks of the Camaro. At least my year, anyways. I have a 2011. I like that style. Really, I think it's really sharp. But anyways, both of them do well. But if I got to pick one, I'm going to go with the Chevy. All right. So since Sonny's not here, please send in your wishes and your thoughts. Hopefully he'll be with us next week. So it makes this podcast a little bit different. Without him, as you can see, it's not quite the same. We miss him greatly, and we hope for him to have a speedy recovery. So that's going to do it for this episode. It's going to be short and sweet, guys. Leave your opinion or thoughts on our listener line at 413-612-8037, and reminding everyone to subscribe to our podcast via your particular listening preference. And don't forget to visit our website at fountainofthought.com for contests and much, much more. And remember, everyone, be a fountain, not a drain.
Here I come to save the day.
Marcia!
Kicking it live and direct here at the Fountain.
Stitch.
Dilly dilly.
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 Resistance is futile.
Run, Forrest, run!
Oh, you wicked, wicked monkey! Oh!
Oh, that is unlucky. Puppy monkey baby. 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 Puppy monkey baby.